Today, y'all see what it is, man. Y'all know we got a guest on. But first, I need to let y'all know who we powered by and how we gonna do this thing.
Y'all already know who it is. www.sauceap.com/free3. Go and get it.
What's happening?
What's going on?
Too short,
Too tall.
in the building.
Y'all got one in the middle today.
Yeah, y'all see we got a guest. I'm not even gonna try and tell you everything that Wendy has done. Wendy Young, ladies and gentlemen. Let Wendy tell y'all everything she's done and why she, you know, the biggest thing I feel like the main reason we're here today is because basically you've made history, right?
Yeah.
We've made history with the MLR.
Yes.
And Major League Rugby.
Yep.
Major League Rugby. And give us a little background on who you are and like as far as like you played rugby at OU?
I did at Oklahoma. Yeah.
Let's start there if you will.
Okay. Well, in the history, it's not just me. So yeah, just to be clear, so I had a team of 3 women for the first time in MLR history as the female broadcast crew. So I was play-by-play, and then we had Brianna Kim, who was the analyst, and then Tammy McQueen was on the sideline. So a trio, if you will, and we made history, which is cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me the difference. You got your play-by-play. You got your analyst and your broadcaster.
Yes.
So tell us how all of that works, because I know there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but give us like play-by-play is obviously live.
Yeah, it's like what you see, right?
Okay.
So like it's happening in front of you and you're just putting words to it. And it's really trying to build like narratives and storylines and then a lot of information for the viewer, like what's the weather, who's the official today, you know, they're from Argentina or wherever they're from, so they may see the game a little bit differently. And then trying to bring the audience in, so you've got all the facts, like the kicker today from BYU University of, you know, whatever, right? So you're bringing those facts and all of that. So it's what's in the moment and then those details about the players. And then the color or the analyst, everybody kind of calls it something differently, they're the replay, right? Or like they bring in the technical aspects. So a try happens, a score happens, and then they tell us how it got there, why that player did it, why they made those choices, and then they add a little color, right? They've got all the little quips and like fun things to say. And then we have sidelines. So much like the NFL, we'll go down to the sideline, they'll talk to the coach at halftime, they'll have talked to the coach before, so they've like, we want to work on this today, this is our goal. And then they often will do hits on whatever's happening. So MLR, we're doing a lot of like tonight, or my game this weekend with Atlanta versus Chicago is Kids Night. So it's like kids takeover. So my analyst, or my sideline will be Tammy again, and she'll have some hits on us on like, what does that mean, right? They're having like special games at halftime or whatever they're doing to bring in that home crowd too.
So is it kind of like red light, green light? Like green light, like y'all are talking, red light, you off, somebody else is on. How do you know when it's your time to speak?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, so it's a lot like Roman's here. So he's working our camera and doing a lot of your production. So at where we are, it's a remote commentary. So we'll have a production crew that runs the cameras. They have the people on the ground, and then so I've got somebody in my ear, and then I'm next to my analyst, and we're in the booth together. So they are sort of directing traffic, but I have the main mic on the as the play-by-play, and I speak, we call it between the whistles. So whenever the ball is live, it's my time. And I can bring my analyst in, right? So like something happened that I'm like, oh, I don't know what that was, like what happened? And I can bring him in, right? And they're there. And then sometimes we do a lot of hand signals because we're not on camera. So I'll be like, you go, like, or whatever. They'll stop me and say, I want to talk. And then the sideline, it is kind of trying to have a conversation where we can, you know, go like, Tammy, tell me about this player, you know, or whatever. Because she's listening to us as well. So, yeah.
Got you. So with the MLR, y'all made history with the whole team being women, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's a professional women's league?
It's semi-professional. They've just announced the Women's Premier League. It's the WPL.
Okay.
Yep.
Got you. So does it get the same kind of broadcasting yet? Not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. And
so it'll be almost like a semi-pro football and NFL.
Yeah, and they a little bit, maybe like, I think they get a little more support, but they're trying to, they like video their games and then upload them later. Things like that. There's a couple that are doing live this year with some broadcasters and commentators, which is cool too. So they're trying to bring that level up as well.
So is it this group of women, the trio, are y'all the only ones that have done this? Are there going to be any other women that are?
So right now, there are several sideline female reporters. We have Stacey Pates, a long time in the broadcast community. And then we have Abby Casillas, who's an Olympian. So we have lots of female sideline reporters.
Okay.
And then I believe Bree's the only other female analyst right now. There's been one in the past, I believe, but then I'm the first play-by-play for the MLR.
How was that your first time? Were you nervous?
Man, you gotta tell us how it was.
We were talking about don't swear, but I was shitting bricks.
You were nervous?
Yeah. Because I've been a broadcaster like for fun since 2011, and I'd done a lot of sevens, and it had been a lot of mostly women's also. So it's a smaller window.
Tell them what sevens is.
Sorry. Yeah. So there's two versions. So there's more than one. There's a lot of versions of rugby, but the main ones are 15s, which is 15 versus 15, and it's an 80-minute match, 2 40-minute halves. So lots of people, 30 people on the pitch, just like murdering each other, right?
Yeah.
And then and that's what the MLR is. So they do, it's full games.
Gotcha.
And then sevens is 7v7 in 7 minutes, and that's the one that's in the Olympics. So it's really exciting. It's fast. I mean, it's top class athletes. Like it's different.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's different to call those games because there's in 15s there's not I wouldn't call it a lull, but there's definitely times where tries aren't being scored. So you're filling. You're talking about stories, things like that. In sevens, I just did one last weekend, and you're literally and there's a try, and then there's another one, and there's and you're and then now it's a 90-meter try, and it's very quick. Yeah. What was the question?
I don't know.
Let's go back to.
We was just explaining the difference between the 15 and the 7.
Yeah.
But before that,
and whether she was nervous or not.
Yes, I was nervous. That's it.
That's
it's like because I played rugby since 2001 is when I found the sport at the University of Oklahoma, and I'd been a soccer athlete my whole life, so I'd played sports and softball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
I didn't know you played soccer.
Yeah,
rugby.
and the reason why rugby was so great was because I was always getting carded for slide tackles, right? You're too physical, you know. And so then when I found rugby, I was like, I can hit her, and I'm not gonna get in trouble. And you want me to? It was a perfect fit, So whenever you get ready for your game and you're hyped up and you've done your warm up and you're like, all right, I just need to get my first hit in, right? I need to get hit, or I need to hit someone to settle the nerves, right? Or whatever it is, I need to get my first bat, whatever, right? Catch at first base, whatever it is. And it's very much, I was surprised to find it's the same for these broadcasts where you're in the booth and you're all right, 2 minutes, let's go, okay, and this is what I'm gonna start with, and then the game starts, the whistle blows, and it's the same kind of thing where you're welcome to SeatGeek Stadium, and here we go. It's wild. I never thought. I never thought it would be like that, but it's very much like that for me.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So you just are able to just kind of tie in a viewer that's just watching rugby for the first time, and y'all are talking through things and just kind of filling in information that someone like you who've played the game your whole life, that you already know what's kind of happening. Okay.
It's a delicate balance, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to dumb it down too much. It's like the NFL, right? You've never watched it, but you're not that's a pass. You're not too, but you want to educate and bring them in, because, it's like tennis. I've watched tennis a lot, and I'm still wait, what's love? And
yes.
And rugby can be that way, where you've got some weird laws, because we don't call them rules, they're laws also. So there's some intricacies that you want to help the audience kind of understand. And, and then it's more, I think, captivating too, when you understand, of course.
Gotcha. So tell me how you did you choose? Is this where you saw things headed? I'm gonna be a play-by-play broadcaster, or is it someone's you'd be great at this? How did this happen?
Yeah, it's a really fun story because, back in 2011, we were helping out Alex Williams, who at the time was the USA Rugby Women's High Performance. Okay. And there was an LA Sevens tournament that happened every year, and it was part of World Rugby, a larger organization, right, that we all play under in the United States. Gotcha. And they have a men's tournament that was inside a Sam Boyd Stadium, and it was great. Kenya's there, and Germany, and all these teams, and it was awesome. And it was a stop on a series, so they would go to South Africa and play, and then in London, and they started having a women's tournament outside. And it was, at first it was an invitational, so it was USA, and then a lot of countries would send developing, so they would send, Canada would send their Maple Leafs, which is their academy team, right? Okay. Or whatever. Or Brazil would send whoever they would send. So it was like growing. And the first year we did it, I knew Alex from some other things that we'd done. She just was like, hey, can you stream this? And I was like, no, I've never done that, but we'll figure it out, right? So we bought a camera, and it was like a big clunky thing, and then I had to learn like what FireWire was and like all this technical stuff.
Okay.
And we've streamed it, and the first couple games we just streamed it, and we didn't have we didn't talk over it, because that wasn't part of my job, right?
Yeah.
And people online were like, this is great, we can see it, but can you talk over it? And I was like, okay, I guess. I was like, I've played rugby long enough, so I just like picked up. It wasn't even a mic. I think the first time I literally just like went over to the camera and was like, and she has the ball and she's running.
Okay.
I don't know their names. We have no rosters. You know some of the players from years, or I knew some of the USA players from being around. But that's how it started, and then we did that with Alex for 5 or 6 years. And then we started doing some 15s, because that was 7s. I started just doing other ones, and we actually started a streaming service. Tracy and I, my wife, we started a streaming service for a while, and then it was way too expensive. We got out of it, but we just streamed women's games, and we would go wherever I played on Austin Valkyries. If we were at somewhere, we would stream that. And I was playing, so I didn't have commentator, but we'd stream that. Like, it just kind of started.
Okay.
And then I just started doing some bigger stuff. So I did some WPL stuff, and then I did some New York Sevens and some other places. And so what really was the catalyst, though, was the last couple of years I have been a technical zone manager for the Austin Gilgronis, which was the MLR team here.
Okay.
There's some problems there. That team got kicked out of the league along with LA. So then I didn't have a job anymore.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, and we're not really supposed to talk about.
Okay.
You know, like a thing happened.
No doubt. My bad.
Nobody really knows. I mean, some people know, but like there's rumors about what it was. But whatever. Austin didn't have a team anymore, and so at first I was like, cool, my schedule's open. Like, I have every Saturday when I was supposed to be at Austin doing a game, I had an opening, and then I was like, you know what? They don't have any female commentators. I bet you they want some. I have experience, so I just called up my friend Dallin Stanford, who is a well-known commentator for World Rugby, USA Rugby, MLR, and was like, who do you work with? And he got me hooked up, and I auditioned, and
that's what's up.
And it was awesome.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
So you just went for it. You got thrown into it.
Let's look at this. Rugby, I went for it. I've never played the sport before. I went for broadcasting. I went, like, all these things. It's a common theme in my life.
I'm reckless.
I'm reckless.
No, you go getter. You a go getter.
Yeah.
You're going to figure it out and make it happen.
You know what? And I would say, like, that is a scary skill to have, but I would say if there are anybody out there that wants to do things like this, like, go get it. You'll get some no's, you get the door slammed in your face, but it's like trying out for the NFL, right? Like 1% make it, NBA, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you got to go for it.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I didn't know you played soccer.
I did.
I did not know that, man. I didn't know that. And she also reffed.
I did. Too many hats.
When we came to the facility, you were already reffing, or?
I was trying to get the next level of promotion, and I was trying to be a referee on the WPL, so you helped me achieve that goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You did. I did.
Out everything today.
Remember, I was trying to be a firefighter. I've just lots of lives. I've lived lots of lives, and then I made the cut, and then I was too old, right? So technically I wasn't too old, but I was going to turn 36 in like 6 months, so that's why I think I got cut, because they're like, yeah, you finished the physical, you did all the things, you finished the psychological, but you know, you're 35 and you have a bunch of 19-year-olds that could be firefighters. I think that's what really happened. But I came to you because I wanted to get better at my physical for the firefighter, because it was that dummy drag, like 200 and whatever pounds, like bigger than I'd ever drugged before. And then at the same time, I was trying to become a panel referee for the Women's Premier League. So you helped me work on my speed and my strength. Yeah. It was awesome.
No, I remember. And
I'm glad I made such an impact on you.
And you didn't tell Tracy that you had came over here, did you, at first?
No, yeah. Because I'm a go-getter, so we had moved cities. We moved to the suburbs of Austin, and so we lost our gym that was in like center of Austin.
Yeah.
And to go there is like 20 minutes, and I loved that gym, right? And it was a great gym, but it was also CrossFit, and I was looking for a little bit of a change. Like, as I was getting older, I wasn't super into like go as heavy as possible and like go and like shred yourself every Tuesday and Thursday. Like I was like, I have a kid now. Like my life is changing.
Yeah.
And so I just looked you guys up, and I was like, all right, it looks like it's a mixture of like CrossFit and like strength and so it was like a perfect fit. But yeah, I didn't tell Tracy, and I came and did an evaluation with you.
Right.
Yep.
And what I also liked is he was like, all right, we're an athlete, all right. And I was like, okay.
Right.
Compliments, please. Compliments.
It's just different. You know how it is. You get an athlete coming in, the mentality is like already there. We know like the athletes just aren't afraid to do hard things.
Yeah.
You know, there's work before the result. So it just, I don't know, it's just an easier relationship.
Yeah.
Instead of me having to convince you to like
That you
do
can
hard
do this.
things, or you can do it. Most of the time, we got to pull the athletes back. Like, hey, don't put on that weight. Let's come back.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather do that than to constantly be trying to push you up. But yeah, no, that's what's up. I don't know. I've always been intrigued with like the live broadcasting because whenever I finished up at UMHB, I worked with our radio crew before I went to Canada. So I would travel with the football team, and I was just basically like the spotter.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so like when half of them, are their own, and somebody made a tackle, I'm making sure that they know who made the tackle,
Get
who
the stats and all that.
Yeah, they changed personnel or something. I'm seeing, okay, they went to 11 personnel. You know, they can kind of say those kind of things to add that commentary, that color, well, whatever it is to the broadcasting. But like, I would definitely, that would be live. Like I would do that, like the live broadcasting. That'll be, cause like with Eli and Peyton. It's hilarious. You know,
and then they just did it. They just did it for the March 16th, the Sweet 16. The women, they just had Sue and.
Oh yes, I watched
that.
Was
awesome.
I watched that.
What's her other name?
It was
Tarasi. Yeah.
And then they had Lisa Leslie.
That was so good. And they're like drinking.
Didn't Lisa come on there at the end?
They had a bunch of guests.
Lisa Leslie, I think
they had a bunch of guests.
Yeah,
it was good.
Nah, I like them. They funny. They got their own little, their own little jokes, their own little stuff. Yeah.
Eli and Peyton are good too, because like Peyton's pretty like funny and Eli's like dry. You know? So it's like a good mixture too.
And what a lot of people don't know about them is like Eli was like supposedly Eli was one of the biggest like pranksters and jokesters on the team.
It's so funny, like,
and you don't realize that because he is dry, but he's a funny guy.
And because he did that. What did he went to the draft and he wore like a wig and then was like just bulleting passes.
He did. It was a walk-ons for.
That's what it was. Yeah, that was so good.
Like, hold on, who is this? I can't remember his name, but I thought that was funny because Deion did that too with the.
Oh, did he?
Or Deion has this alter ego where he runs the 40 or something.
Oh, I just saw that.
Instead of prime time, it's something
Chris
else.
Whatever Gaines or whatever.
It's something.
Oh, that's so funny.
No, I've always kind of been intrigued by that. And when I heard you were doing that, I was like, damn. I was like, okay. I already knew you was Hall of Fame. See, people don't even know you Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Let it be known.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
Two Hall of Fame.
Oh, my bad.
Two, get it right.
Two Hall of Fame.
Right.
So what is the Hall? Tell our viewers like.
Yeah, it's just like all the other, you have, so we have, there's a USA Rugby Hall of Fame, not in there yet, but maybe, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm in the Oklahoma Rugby Hall of Fame and then the Texas Rugby Hall of Fame.
I think I saw that one. Was it in Houston?
Yeah.
The event for it?
Yeah, Okay. Mine was in Austin. You move it around. So this year it's in Fort Worth in August, the Texas Rugby Hall of Fame. And Oklahoma just had theirs. It's always during their spring break. They always have it. And their 50th, I think, Oklahoma's is like next year or the year after.
Okay.
So that's like, it's always like big, right? When it's the big ones. But it's just, we're honoring and trying to find people that have done more than one thing in rugby, right?
Yeah.
And then that they have just had like an impact also.
Yeah.
So it's an honor. It's really cool. And
no doubt.
I think what's really interesting too about both of those Hall of Fames, and I think all of the Hall of Fames, is a lot of them have like their founders in there, right? So like we have our people that made TRU, they're in the hall already, and so now it's that next generation. We have a couple that are in this year that are like in their 30s, and it's like, that's so cool to be like recognized like that. Like you can be recognized for it, and it's a really cool. The first one we did, because it's our 7th, I think, for TRU, because I'm involved administratively, because I can't say no to things. But it's cool because, like, the people that made what you do and where you play are still around, and you can learn from them.
Okay.
And like, I joke that like when I played rugby, it was hard because we wore like cotton jerseys and it was long and it was like hot and like it was hard and we don't have a lot of money. But then you talk to them and they're like, yeah, we didn't have a field, so we played a game like at this park that we found and we put the cones out and we didn't have any rugby balls, so we bought them and you're just like, wow, okay. Like I really am privileged. it's just cool to hear those like foundation stories.
Yeah.
And everybody has those, you know?
You know, when I think about, like when I say women in sport, I mean like sport, not just playing the game.
Yeah.
So like women in men's sport. And so like I was thinking the other day like about like, I feel like now I could be wrong, but I feel like when I look at it like the negativity that you hear about a woman NFL coach or the woman strength coach for like, there's a woman strength coach for the Buccaneers and just more roles you're seeing in the NFL, NBA.
Yep.
And I think about the players, and as a player, and I look at the other players, the negativity don't really come from the players.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
It's a lot of time it's the mob.
outside.
Yeah, it's outside.
It's outside.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like just
the outside.
people, and I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like maybe like the positivity around it needs to be, because you know the negative voices always seems to be louder.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're really the minority when it comes to it, because if I'm seeing you call an NFL game, talking about the game, like I'm not on there just thinking like, why is she calling the game? You know what I'm saying? So have you seen any negative
backlash?
Yeah, feedback from the women, the what do we call it, the trio or
the trio.
We're gonna call it the trio.
Yeah, they're named now.
Yeah.
It's really, honestly, I mean, I was nervous. I definitely was like, man, I'm going to be the first one, because you've definitely heard of some of they've had some female commentators in soccer, and then there's been a couple of analysts in the NFL too, and I've heard that it has not gone great, right?
Okay.
And it hasn't gone great for them. It's been really positive.
Okay.
Right? And I look at the Reddits.
Yeah.
Like, I know where to go to find it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
no doubt.
And like Twitter, like you're going to go on the team thing and you're like, oh, they did not like that. You know, like they will tell you. And I'll say I've had some struggles, right? Like pronunciation is there's a lot of Fijians and Samoans in the league and South African names.
Okay.
Where like certain letters are completely different than American, right?
Yeah.
So pronunciation has been something that I continue to work on. And we've got great people that are helping with that. And you can call up, you know, and just be like, how do you pronounce this South African name that's like spelled like this, but does not sound like that at all, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's been a struggle. So there's been a little bit of feedback, like, you know, keep working on that, but it's been positive. And I think maybe it's like microaggression where people are like, wow, she really knows what she's talking about. But I choose to take that in a positive. I'm okay with that, right? Because you could have said I suck and I don't know what I'm talking about and I should go home and be in the kitchen. That hasn't happened. But maybe there's been some micros.
Yeah, I think the growth of the fans just being used to a certain thing.
Yeah.
And then when you are good, I totally get that, because I feel that way when I hear young black athletes speak, and then someone says, oh, he sounds educated.
You're so articulate. You're like, oh,
yeah, you're like, like what?
Yeah.
Like what does that mean?
What did you mean? Like,
but I totally get that.
Which I think is progress.
Yeah.
Right? But I totally agree. Like we should not be speaking about young black athletes, anybody really like that, you know? And I think it's becoming more normal, so I think that's good.
Yeah.
And I think I have a unique perspective as a female, right? My coming up in rugby was very different than a male, right? Like there's a lot of opportunity. Like my University of Oklahoma, they have a ton of alumni support. A lot on the men's side, right? The men have to go to Florida for a Sweet 16, 30 grand shows up. My team has to do that, car washes and calendar sales, right? Like, and I may have to take my clothes off for the calendar, right? Like not nudity, but like scandalous, right? Like, so there's those differences. So the equity is not there. So I have a unique perspective.
Yeah. You know, when I think about, when we talk about money in sport, and I'm always like, what drives, like to be able to spend $30,000 for the men to go out there, it's most of the time it always goes back to who's making the money, right? Like, okay, they're driving fans, but is it just marketing? Why isn't it like, why doesn't the women's sport bring in the same amount? Is it just marketing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why is the money not the same when it comes to your WNBA? Is it because the WNBA doesn't get the same marketing power or have the same marketing power? Because I think the game is there.
Yeah.
But
you might be right.
We need to you have to market the game, because there's enough people out there that are interested that will support it.
Yeah. If you look, like, you're gonna see way more NBA commercials and hype commercials with their star players.
Right.
In opposed to seeing a WNBA commercial with Skylar Diggins.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying? Marcus
Like, you don't-
Scholar.
Right.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
don't do that.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of like, if you build it, they'll come. And I think we're seeing that with the Women's Sweet 16. It was a standalone this year. They broke all the records, all the
Hey, tell me this.
viewing, and like.
Hey, tell me this. This was the first year. Y'all have to, I know y'all gonna let me know. But I think this is the first year the women's tournament had March Madness.
Yes, it is. The moniker. Yes, on the pitch.
Ain't that
Excuse me,
crazy?
on the court.
Yeah.
They were also on ESPN,
Yes.
not Ocho.
Yes.
Right? Or like some channel that you have to go, Fubu. Like,
Yes.
love ya, right? But
Yes.
like, I don't have to go sign up for it. I can find it on my cable. And it's the same thing. We're seeing it in women's rugby too. We just had the Women's Six Nation, which 2 years ago they used to play together with the men. So they'd do like a men's whatever, and then the women were the curtain raiser, and nobody would show up because they're in the bar getting drunk, right?
Yeah,
at the pub
before the game.
right? So it's been standalone for 2 years now, and they. The 2021 Rugby World Cup, which was played in 2022 in New Zealand, which my family went to. But anyways, that one at Eden Park sold out. First time for women's rugby that has had a sold out venue.
Oh, that's live.
41,000, 42,000 maybe.
That's live.
Now, last week, 56,000 in Twickenham, which holds 80, so more than half full.
Yeah.
Now this week, Arsenal, I believe, women's soccer sold out 91,000.
It's live.
So
It's coming.
It's coming, right? We got to market it like we
Yes.
do the men or
Yes.
whatever. Choose different sponsors, but the money has to be the same. We have to promote the players the
Yes.
same. That's been my biggest complaint about USA Rugby is they don't market their players.
Yes.
Right? It's about the stories. Everyone knows
The
Carlin Isle.
storyline.
He's the
Yes.
fastest sprinter in rugby. He's the best. He's a crossover Olympian, like whatever. Everyone knew about Carlin Isles as soon as he came on the pitch.
Yeah.
We have the same
Yes.
for our women that don't get that.
Yes,
Yeah.
the storylines.
Yeah.
That's what sells.
That's what
people
grows
wanna
it, right?
see.
And then I
Yes.
can wear the jersey, which, by the way, you can't buy women's merch very much. It's hard to find.
Yeah.
It's even hard to find like a Megan Rapinoe jersey these days. Like, it's ridiculous,
Whoa, that's
right?
crazy.
It's crazy, right? Like, I wanted one for my son, and it took like 2 weeks to find it. I can go find anybody else.
Oh, yeah,
a
like
Curry
that.
jersey? Like
Like
that,
that.
right? I can go to a Walmart and buy one, right?
Yeah.
Don't go to
Gotcha.
Walmart, but like, you know, like, I mean, it's just out there. So that it's all those things. Everything that we're offering the men, we need to offer the women. And I'm not saying copy, because it can't be a carbon copy. 'Cause
No.
women are different.
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
But we have to offer them the same things,
Yes.
and then they will see the return. And the proof is in the March Madness.
Yes.
It's in, I mean,
I know.
soccer is seeing it. It's coming.
Yeah.
And whoever gets on board now,
Yeah.
bless them.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
All right, I'm finna go here with this. Finna go here with
Okay.
this.
So that
So-
clock doesn't mean anything.
Well, it kind of does, but yeah, it kind of does, but
We're trying to wrap it up.
Yeah,
That's right. I got time. I got time.
So I'm gonna go here with this. When you talk about when you were trying to raise the money, if y'all's games are in Florida and you were like, man, we might have to do a calendar shoot, and I might have to do bikini shoot or a sports bra, right? Sex sells,
Sure.
men and
yeah,
women,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah,
does.
it does. Yeah.
I'm not saying, all right, so when it comes to the marketing for the women's sport, would you feel disappointed if that was a part of how it's sold? Because I think that is kind of a part of the power of women. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah,
you
it's like the body issue.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I was
It's like-
having an argument on Twitter the other day, or maybe it was, I don't remember, somewhere with somebody, because they were saying, you know, the MLR, they're trying to just grow their brand. And what if they did a calendar with their dudes? 'Cause
Yeah.
they're ripped, right? They're professional athletes, like
Yeah.
they're working out all the time. What if they did some stuff kind of like the body? And I was like, but do they have to take their shirt off?
Yeah.
I was like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I
So when I think about the athletes, you think about the ESPN edition?
yeah, the body issue, right?
Yeah, the body, like you just said, the body
Yeah.
issue. So it's like they do it in a way that makes it like,
It's empowerment.
Yeah,
It
yes,
respectful.
yes,
yeah.
yes.
And I love how they do all body sizes too. Like,
Yes.
I love that, right? Like, so I think you can do it, but
because elite comes in all shapes and sizes. Elite,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It comes in. There's this joke when there was some kind of lineman, and he was a big old dude, and he wasn't like one of the cut up linemen. He was just a pretty big guy, and he had a shirt off, and it was like, this is what peak performance looks like. And it was just
Yeah.
funny because I was like, that is, because Buddy Cole.
I was saying, I ran a 40 faster than you could ever dream in your life.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
bench presses, who knows
Yeah.
how much? Like, yeah. So I mean, I think I really have liked some of the new NWSL commercials, and there were a lot during March Madness that were really, I think, just showing how strong women are, their confidence, and maybe they were sexy. I mean, they're wearing clothing that is fitting to them, that looks good, but I don't remember any that they really had to take off their clothes for. Yeah. Right? And then I think about some of the Olympic commercials, like, Fraser Price has had some fantastic commercials. Yeah. And, talk about unique. She's got her nails in her hair and is a unique personality herself. Yeah. Like, and I like that they've allowed her to do that in her commercials and her brand. Yeah. So I think there's ways to do it, but I don't like the let's be sexy.
No doubt.
In a bikini, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
I that's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just constantly kind of going full circle on. If you put the money in the marketing, you will find the avatar that will spend money in the sport to grow the sport. Point blank, period. It's there. Yeah. You build something or you create something, then all of a sudden everybody wants this, whatever it is. Like there are people out there that want it, but you have to market to it, and you have to touch that emotional thing with the stories, the storylines. We need more storylines.
I feel like that's why the women's March Madness was so hyped up this year.
Absolutely.
You know,
you knew the storylines.
Right. Yeah. You got Reese, Clark.
And you were invested in those storylines.
I think the coaching was interesting too. Like, we learned more about the women's coaches, Dawn Stanley, than we've ever known. She had several episodes, inside the episodes that were fantastic to learn about her. And Kim can go away, but like everybody else was awesome, right?
Yeah, you're like monkey. That's funny.
She abuses her players, it's clear. And she doesn't support the LGBTQ, so.
Oh, she doesn't?
No, she does not.
I didn't know that.
No, she does not.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on.
Remember Brittany Griner in prison in Russia, and Kim on camera, I'm just quoting.
Which is
I'm not quoting.
Because did she coach me?
Yeah. She did. Yeah. But she is known for having her players please take down the gayness, take down your, just bring it down,
you know
right?
What? I didn't know that.
Oh, it's all over there, man. If you dig, it's there.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. I was just hearing the storylines,
because she's a good spinner. She's got a great PR crew, for sure. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Come at me, Kim. Let's go.
Yeah, Kim, get on the show now. Yeah. Louisiana ain't nothing but a skip and a hop.
So what's your ultimate goal? Like, what's the?
She ain't seen it yet.
What's the mountaintop?
Does it exist? Really why I got into this, and now Tracy's here, and she knows. I've been working hard on saying no, but I think for a lot of the broadcasting, I really want to become the voice of the USA Eagles. So the USA team, I don't care if it's the men or the women. And we have the World Cup coming in 2031 and 2033. We also have the Olympics in LA 28. So, I would love to do some Sevens Olympics announcing. I would love to be the voice of the Eagles. Man. And then really, I think the pinnacle is doing some women's Six Nations. Going and doing some international broadcasting, I think would be very cool as well.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming.
It's coming. Yeah, you ain't seen the tree. You ain't
out there.
Yeah, you a go.
Yeah, you ain't seen the tree. You ain't chopped down yet. Yeah, okay. That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
It's coming.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Like I said, I was intrigued by that because I was like, wait, I know Wendy is she's reffing. Now I know she's Hall of Fame. Now, broadcasting, when did this happen? I didn't know y'all even started a broadcast.
Long time ago.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. No, I like that. I like that. It'd be interesting to see where your career goes with this, or if you decide to snipe something else.
A lot of people have already asked, would I do other sports? And I absolutely would. I would need to brush up, right? For sure. But I don't care. I love sport. I mean,
That's wild.
That's so bad, man. That's what's up. Hey, what's your Instagram? Do you want?
No, I can. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know if you want that.
It's XXX. No.
Yeah. Right.
No, I have a couple. So I also have a women's rugby website.
Okay,
that's what also enabled a lot of these doors that opened, was just reporting on women's rugby for a long time, since 2006. So that one is YSC Rugby. So it's your Scrum Half Connection, because I was a Scrum Half. It's a whole thing. YSC Rugby is my professional brand.
Okay.
And then just me personally is Scooter WE.
Okay.
Because as a Scrum Half, there was a play that you would draw the defense and then scoot the ball back inside. So I was called Scooter, was my nickname. So shout out to Macy for that, a long time ago. ago.
Yeah.
But those are and that's all my handles everywhere are the same. You can
Okay.
find me at either of those.
Cool.
Twitter?
Oh, on all the things.
Twitter,
Yeah,
IG,
Reddit's,
all of it. Reddit,
TikTok.
dig on
Yeah.
Reddit,
Get on the clock.
We TikToking. Yeah, all of that. But y'all go follow Wendy, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to where women's sport is going. Obviously, you know, I have a daughter, and Eric's
got a
daughter.
daughter.
You know, so
Dad
it's-
moms.
it's,
What? No,
uh,
dad, girl dads.
moms.
What is it? Sorry. Girl dads. Is that what it is? Now it's dad moms. I'm a girl.
Yeah.
What am I?
Girl
I'm
dad. You got
I'm
me.
A mom boy. What am I? I don't know. A boy mom.
Mom boy?
I don't really attain to
That's
labels, so
Yeah. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know we powered by www.sauceap.com
/
free 3.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no doubt.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was
Oh
good.
man, that was good.
What will you sacrifice to be great?